Oh my god. So right here we have a 2022 Mercedes A250e. This car is a plug-in hybrid and also the first plug-in hybrid on my channel. Let me know down below what you think about these hybrid cars. Is it something you would own? Would you rather have a regular gas car or a fully electric car? Or is this something you are actually interested in? But this is a 2022 Mercedes A250e. It is a plug-in hybrid, and you can also see here it has the EQ power badge right here on the side. Now it looks like a regular A-Class design-wise. There is not a whole lot to this car that's going to give away that it is a plug-in hybrid, except for the EQ badges, the little E here in the back, and on the right side of the car you will have an extra port here where you can charge the car. So as always, I think we would just go for a little walk around of the car here on the outside, show you a little bit of the design of it, and then we will work our way from the back to the front and take it out for a drive so you can see how this thing drives. Now I think it is important to mention that this car is spec'd with the AMG line package, which just means it has some different seats and some different design elements. But outside styling wise, it looks like a Mercedes. Looks really nice actually. I've had this car here over the weekend, and I will say it has gotten a lot of compliments. It is a very nice looking car. I feel like it hits like a sweet spot. It's not too small, neither too big. It's very easy to get around in, especially in tighter city areas. Mercedes-Benz badge here on the front. You also do have the Mercedes headlights here, these AMG tires that came with the car. Again, one of the things that are with the AMG line package. On this side is where you put your gas, and on the other side is where you put your electric charge. I really like the design. Personally, I like this. I think it's kind of has that mix of a little bit of sporty, a little bit of like luxurious look. Opening up the back of the car here, you just press the button underneath here and you lift up the boot. There is no electric boot in this one, so it is manually operated. You do have a decent amount of storage. I have my backpack right here with all my equipment in it, and of course there's also the charging cable right here. Underneath the floor here you really don't have space for pretty much anything. This car has a speaker system put in here, so there's not really any underfloor storage, which means that again charging cables and such will just have to be here in the trunk. You can also fold down the seats, as you can see there, so you can have the floor pretty flat. So again, to close it, manually operated, you just close it down and that is it. Now hopping on to the back seats. So it is the AMG line, which means that you have some different seats in here. You have a little bit of a split with leather and some Alcantara. But getting inside here, behind my driving position, actually a little bit of an exaggerated driving position. I have put myself in a bit of a more comfortable position than I usually would. Sitting here behind myself at 178 centimeters tall, I actually do have a decent amount of space. I could be here for a while. Have about, I don't know, 4-ish centimeters here from my knees to the seat. You can feel that the seats are a bit more hard, a little bit more sporty, but honestly they are not too bad. I have had worse. You do also have a center armrest here with 2 cup holders. Essentially you just put your drink in like from the top here, and this will automatically fold down and become a bottom part for your drink. Once you're done with it, just fold them right back in and you can get it out of the way. You have 2 vents here and a USB-C charging port down here. Besides that, you don't really have much back here. Essentially just some storage in the door compartment and a window switch. That is pretty much what you have. Moving right on up here to the passenger seat. We can also take a little bit of a look at the seat controls, you have a thigh extension here, which is again manually operated. You can just lift up the lever here in the front and you can pull or push the extension in, depending on what you want. This little dial here will adjust the height of this. So as you can see here, it lifts up the front of the seat if you want a little bit more support there. Here you have a lift and a lowering for the seat. And at the back here you have a dial to adjust the angle of your backrest. Also here in the front, you have a little lever here to manually pull the seat back and forward. Door pocket here, again, quite a big storage space, also extends a bit in here in the back. Window controls, and you have also your heated seat controls up here. So getting right in. Now these seats are a little bit harder because they are the sport seats, but once you get them adjusted so they actually fit you, they are quite comfortable. We took it for a longer drive, like roughly I think it was like around 300-kilometer drive. And it was fairly comfortable on those rides, I will say. But yes, besides that, you don't really have much over here in the passenger side. It is more focused on the driver's side. Just quickly here before we hop onto the driver's seat, I just want to show you the engine compartment. You just pull a little red lever under here, pull a little hard, and the hood will open up. There is a little yellow lever under here, which you just push to the left, and there you go. And here is your engine. I will put all the specifications of the engine and the battery up on screen so you can see what the performance numbers of this car is. Of course, it is a plug-in hybrid and all these things. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but I would say it is fast enough for everyday use. It is comfortably fast. To close it down, you just pull it lightly, and from here you can just let it go. So I think it is time to get into the driver's seat so we can see what it has to offer here. The door here looks fairly similar to the passenger side. Heated seat up here. Here you have your door lock controls, a little switch to open up your fuel tank, and of course your window switches. So starting down here in the center console, in the front here, you have this panel you can push forward. You have a little storage compartment here with USB-C charging, 2 cup holders which can be adjusted here so they can hold your drink a little tighter. Something like a regular Red Bull can, like a 250 ml, is still a little bit too small for this to have any effect, but anything over that size will be held in place. Back here you have your little panel to control your system up here. We will talk about that a little bit later. Right here, push this button and you have a deeper storage compartment, also with a charge port, again for USB-C. So overall you have one here, and one in the back here. You do also have a little 12 volt here, in case you need it. Going up a little bit further, you have your little control panel here with your buttons that you can push to activate and deactivate certain features. Temperature controls here, and all of your vents, which you can of course angle however you want them to. Your steering wheel here has your usual controls. You have all the things here for your cruise control, and you have the things here for your volume and phone. Up here you have menu buttons with the little touch swipe things. So as you can see, this side over here will essentially control the infotainment display. You have your home button, back button, you can swipe between things here. And over here you will control this display, which means that essentially I can change. If I want this one over here to display something else, I can just swipe through here, find whatever I want it to display. You can change it over to the middle one. And you can also change that. And again, all the way over to the right to display whatever you want there. You can also control your infotainment system from this panel here, which is my preferred method. There is also a touchscreen here, which means you can essentially just press where you want and use it this way. However, I do prefer this. You have all your basic features here. You have your drive mode select right here. Parking cameras. Here you have the quick access settings if you want to just quickly enable or disable either parking sensors or whatever you would need. Favorite button here. You have your volume over here. Navigation and map, radio, media, and telephone. This one, of course, is just a hand rest, so you can just put your hand here to have some place to just hold it instead of having it floating above the panel. Up here in the top you have a back button. You have a forwards and backwards like slidey thing. I usually use it for music, so I can swipe between music by just swiping on it. And a home button to go back to your home screen here. The infotainment system works fairly well in my opinion. It hasn't really been difficult to work with. Navigation, you just go here to where you want to go. You can type in your address and it will give you navigation. Also have all your settings for it right here. But you do have, you know, the basic things you would expect. You have your phone, navigation, radio, media here. You have settings here to adjust the ambient lighting inside the car, which I will also put up a little video so you can see your EQ setting where you can see all the information about the battery and such. Some apps for your car. Right now it only has the browser store here. At the end of it, the car settings. Also in here in the car settings is also where you can change kind of the aesthetic parts of the car. For example, here the design and view, I can change which one I would like. Can have the classic one, looks like this. Have the sporty one. You know, it kind of gives you a little bit of choice of how you want things to look. I prefer this one though. So that's kind of where you will find all those personal things. Also how you want this panel to operate and so on and so forth. Over here on the left hand side you have a little panel here to control your lights and your parking brake. Back here, regular Mercedes setup with your two stocks here in the back. A start stop button right here. You also do have two paddle shifters back here. If you do want to change your gears manually, you can do that simply by just pressing them. And that is pretty much it for the interior of this car. So I think the next thing we will do is take it out for a drive. But before that, I just want to go and put it in the charger for a little bit so we can see how fast this thing charges, because right now I don't have any battery on the car. So we will go and see how long it will take to take it from 0 to 100. Getting the seatbelt here, there we go. So to start the car, put your foot on the brake, you press the start engine button here. This little warning here will always pop up. All you have to do is just press a button to get rid of it. You can then put the car into drive and you're ready to go. So driving the A250e. It is a comfortable ride. It is definitely a little harsher, a little more sporty than other cars that I have driven on the channel, but it is also kind of meant to be a little bit more of a sporty experience. Combination of the seats and suspension and so on and so forth. You do also have a sport mode that you can select down here from your switch. You can just put it here into sport. Will kind of make the car respond a little bit more aggressively. I prefer, however, to keep it in comfort mode, and it is overall a comfortable ride. The steering feels soft, but still manages to be precise enough to where you feel confident in the car. Of course, the acceleration is, I would say, normal for a gas car. If you come from an electric car, you're going to feel that the acceleration is a bit slow and maybe delayed, but that's just how it is. You're going to see here now, I'm going to press the accelerator and the car just needs a little second just to pick up. I do find these seats comfortable. Once again, you just need to really adjust it to you, but once you've done that and you've kind of found your setting, I would say, the seats are quite comfortable. It's also for longer durations. That trip we took was kind of taken in two parts. It was two 2-hour drives, and I didn't really have any major pains or issues after having taken that trip. So I would overall say it's quite nice. I could definitely live with it. You do also have your little backup camera here, as you can see. You have this narrow view. You can also put it on this kind of wide angle view, but then you lose your guidelines. And you also just have here, I prefer this one, however, and you get your car in where it needs to be. Put it here. So, having the car plugged in here to a charge point, we can just take a look at how the car charges. It is 10:13 and I just saw that the car said it would be done charging at 12. So approximately an hour and 45. But we can also go here into the menus and head on over to the EQ menu, where we can see the car is charging. And there you can see it. We are currently charging with 7.2 kilowatts and 100% will be done at 12. So again, yeah, an hour 45. Now I did refuel this car completely. You have around 60 kilometers of battery range and around 550 kilometers of fuel range. And from my testing and from my driving around, I can see that it's quite consistent with those numbers. Of course, it is a plug-in hybrid, so there are situations where you cannot just solely run on your electric battery. It seems to me that the gas engine will usually kick in if you surpass around 50 kilometers per hour, which is, as far as I know, consistent with other hybrids. I do find that the car will drain the battery in this quite quickly, but the overall consumption is not bad even if the battery is drained. So it is not the biggest problem in the world. You do also, under your drive modes, have a setting called battery level, which is basically meant to just preserve battery and also charge while you are driving. There's also the fully electric mode, but I will show you all this when we get out and drive. So now we just put a bit of a charge on the car, so we will just take it now on the highway and take it for a drive so you can get a good sense of how it is to drive. Putting it into drive and heading out from here. As I was talking about a little bit while we were charging, the car does have the different drive modes that you can go through. One of them here, we'll start from the top. You can have your individual one where you can kind of choose what you want the car to have. If you want the motor to be sporty, but you want the steering to be comfortable, you can go into sport. You have comfort mode. You have pure electric mode, where it will just use the electric engine for as much as it can. And underneath the electric you have battery level, where again the car will try to preserve the battery as much as possible while also charging it. But you can definitely hear a bit more noise in this car, such as more tire noise, more engine noise. It is different than the electric cars that you are used to seeing on this channel. But I do like it. Having had it now, it is Monday now and I've had this car since Thursday. I will say I have kind of grown a bit of a soft spot for it. It is a nice car, I would say. I could definitely see myself having one of these ones. I think the storage space in the back is fine. The seats are comfortable enough, and it is just a fun car to drive. At least I find it quite fun. The weather today is not the best, but that should not hinder our driving experience here. And so here we go. Again, I would say it's plenty fast for everyday use. There is definitely a different feeling when you accelerate in a gas car compared to a electric car. Even if it is, smaller engine gas car, it has a different feeling when you accelerate. I think it's that, just the noise that you're hearing, it kind of adds a little to the experience. But you also do see electric cars nowadays kind of simulating engine noise. I have yet to try it, but I would like to and see how that experience is. Getting right on back here to the cruise control settings. To enable your cruise control settings, you can use this set little rotating dial here. Usually you just press it down and it will set it right here. It set it to the speed that I'm driving, which is 113. If I want to increase it, I can either do a half step for, individual kilometers per hour, or I can do a full one for moving in increments of 10.
such as this. So now we're at 120, 130, and the car will, if possible, accelerate to 130. Right now we have some cars in front of us, so we are going the speed that those cars are traveling at, and also keeping our distance to them. But if I do change out into the other lane and there's no cars in front, the car here will accelerate up to the speed that I have set, and then you can just switch back into the lane here. It works well. The car is quite good at keeping the speed and the distance to the other car in front. I haven't had any mishaps or any situations happen. It works the way it's intended to work. The car will also warn you if you are approaching the lane lines. For me, it just vibrated the steering wheel a little bit and let me know that I was essentially hitting the lines. It doesn't really take oversteering. Usually I can kind of cross the line if I am not paying attention. It is merely just letting me know that that is happening. So I think we are just going to turn around over here and slowly begin to head right on back. You can just cancel your cruise control by flicking this one down. So we can get off the highway here. The infotainment system is also quite easy to use even while you are driving. If you need to just type in an address or change your music or call up someone, it's quite easy to use. I did need a little bit of time to get used to the panel down here. Of course, you can also just touch the screen, which is a lot easier to do, but I find it a little bit more difficult to have to reach forward to press the screen here, rather than just either using the little touch panel here on the steering wheel or this one. But it is quite comfortable once you've gotten used to it, and actually I do enjoy it. We'll just put the car here in sport mode and we will try and get a little bit of acceleration up here. We'll just hang back a little bit here, keeping an eye on my back to make sure nobody is coming, and we will just, oh my god. Okay, yeah. I mean, it's fun. I don't know what to say. It is fun. The car is definitely eager to go. Again, it's not like a rocket ship or anything where you're just getting tossed right back in your seat and it's, you know, that kind of electric acceleration. But it is definitely fun. I find it fun at least. So we will just resume our cruise control here. First of all, I will just pass over this car here. But to resume your cruise control, all you have to do is push this one up to the resume, and it will re-engage. This dial over here will change how much distance you are holding to the car in front. Pushing it up will reduce the distance, and pushing it down will increase the distance. I have it now at the maximum distance, and once we approach the car here in front, you will see this icon light up in green, because now it is detecting the car and it will keep the distance to that car and also maintain the same speed. But again, using this system down here is fairly simple even while driving. Let's say I wanted to put in an address now to go somewhere. I can just, well, you would be here in the menu most likely, or in another one. You can go to either your navigation by pressing the button here, or going on the home screen and pressing there. Then you can just press down here and type in the address you want to go to. I will just put in an address a bit of way away from here, like so. And it will show up over here. You can either see if it's a city or a road or a specific address, but we will go here onto the city. There we are. We will pick this one, and there we can see it is the correct place, and we can start the journey. Now, at this moment, it is saying that we should go and take the ferry route, but if I don't want to do that, I can swipe down and swipe over to this icon right here, pressing there, and it will give me the opportunity to press in alternative routes. Going into the alternative routes, you can see here all the other routes that the car is recommending. Right now you can see we want to take the one without the ferry. So we can take, let's see here, we have one that is like plus 89 kilometers, which is going around. So we can say, I would like that one. And the car will automatically change and tell us that we would have to turn around here on the upcoming opportunity. However, we do not want to go on that trip right now, so to cancel it, you can swipe down, go over here to the flag with a little cross on it, and press. And the car will automatically cancel the trip you had going. Now we're coming up here to 110, so I will press down twice to go to 110, and the car will head right back down to 110. I know there's also an 80 zone coming up, so we will just press until we hit 80. The car is braking quite heavily when you do this. Just be aware of that. It's not really as gentle of a slowdown, but it does what it needs to do. You will get used to it with time. You can also just cancel the cruise control and then re-enable it once you get down to your desired speed. Might be a little bit more graceful. I did also use the audio system for a bit to see how it sounds, and it does sound quite nice. Once you have adjusted your equalizer settings in the car, you can get it to sound pretty good. I was just using the Bluetooth connection from my phone, but it works fairly well. Specifically for me, I use Apple Music. You can go through all your playlists, all your music, and you can essentially just pick and choose what you want. But when the car is just driving like this, like a casual, everyday drive, I do find it comfortable. You get that Mercedes feeling in this car. Even though it is kind of the entry-level Mercedes, you do still feel that at the base of it, it is a Mercedes. And I think that's what I like about this car, is that even though it is their lower-end model, it is still a Mercedes, and it still feels like a Mercedes. Also down here, as I told you, you have your AC controls and so on. Over here you can kind of change your temperature. Right now it is set to sync mode, so it will do the same temperature on both sides. If you want to change things a little bit more specifically, you can press on the menu button here, and you will enter into the AC menu. From here you can also enable and disable things such as synchronization, auto. You can change your temperature, where you want the air to come out. You can change all those things in here. Quite basic things, but they work well and they are easy to figure out. I don't know if it is just me or if I just would need more time in the car, but at least it is nice to have buttons here. But in a way I still kind of need to look which one I'm pressing, because they all feel the same, so you still kind of need to look down and see which one it is you are touching, because if I just do this, I don't know what button this one is. Well, I have to look and see which one it is that I'm actually going to press. Of course I can feel this one is the temperature, but in here I don't know. But it is nice to have just a button that you can look down and you can just press it. You can see what it is and just there you go. So I do think that was pretty much it for this 2022 Mercedes A250e. I would like to know your opinion in the comments down below. Would you pick a hybrid car, or would you rather stick to either fully gas or fully electric? Let me know down below. And huge thank you to some close friends that let me have this car all throughout the weekend and essentially have it as my own for this time. I really appreciate lending me your car. And if you have an exciting car that you would like me to film and you live here in the Denmark area, please feel free to send me an email at my email address. I will get back to you as soon as possible. But for now, if you liked the video and you think I deserve it, I would highly appreciate a like and a subscribe. You can also share the video, it helps out the channel quite a lot. I really appreciate you watching all the way here to the end. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time.